This is Damon Steven, the FinWealth Builders. Today is Thursday, January 20th, 2022, and this is stock market update for trades of the day. And the bears are still in charge today. So hopefully you were short in the market, as we talked about in our video last night, that if we continue to drop from our close yesterday, we're going to be short in the market. So hopefully you're doing that and take advantage of it, because boy, if you did, end of the day, you were a happy camper because you made out big. So let's get into the market, look at the charts, and see what we can expect as we close out this week. So if we're looking at the overall markets here, you can see Dow Jones closed down 0.89%, NASDAQ down 1.3%, and S&P 500 down 1.0%. And you can see here, once we basically cross this threshold right here, and if you're watching FinViz, I have FinViz up all day long. I have the VIX chart up all day long as well, because they help me understand which way the market's going, and that way I know which way to trade. And you see here, we had a pump up a little bit in the morning, but then obviously it didn't hold, and then you had a sell-off that just continued. And once we broke this line, it accelerated. You see that on all three charts. So everything's trading together. So that makes it easy to understand, where momentum is, where direction in the market's going, when everything's trading together. Very, very much easy to trade that way. You can see overall our chart, overall red across the board. So that's to be expected, including our all over FANG stock. So definitely seen a lot of sell-off going on. And you can see our scanners are low. Obviously the small caps are continuing to suffer as well. We'll see some more on our charts on IWM, but continue to be weak. And so haven't really, traded a lot on the small caps right now with the market the way it is. But there's definitely lots of opportunities for shorting on these large caps as they continue to go down. So let's get into some more charts here. Actually, let's talk about earnings for a minute. So here's earnings for the month. I've highlighted some of the areas that I'm focused on. Obviously, Netflix was what I was expecting today. And wow, it sold off more than I was expecting. So if you were shorting Netflix or you're holding puts on it, congratulations, because you just killed it. It went way more than I expected. Just amazing. And let's take a look. We'll look at some charts, but this was my one for the week. You see we have a couple other techs coming in next week. If earnings, one thing with earnings is if they continue to show weak earnings, we'll probably see more corrections on the downside of the market. And it may drive us back down. So you see in 2021, we just kind of rocketed up, right? We killed it. Even all the bad news, it didn't matter. Market just rallied like crazy. And so this is our time to kind of do a little bit of a reset, really, find some things discounted in the marketplace. So, do we see a further correction? It's possible. We're correcting more than we have all that last year. So definitely can see that that's a possibility. So just watch earnings because it could help drive the market. There's definitely gonna be a lot of volatility. So just make sure you're not in the chop, that you're always following trend and the price action. And if you keep these charts up, like the VIX and the FinViz or some other type of chart, it'll probably help you at least understand that you're in the right direction of the market. But let's take a look at Netflix. That was the one for this week. That was actually today at the end of close. It gave you kind of a little bit of warning here as you come in the day, because you can see towards the middle of the day, things just started to sell off. So that was kind of your sign that, hey, you know what? Obviously, people are expecting a sell-off here. And I had heard that some people were buying for today calls and actually buying the market to go up and expecting Netflix to have good news, which, with everybody going back to work with, the COVID scare, over, for the most part, and people vaccinated and moving forward. All these stocks that did so well during that time are now suffering and pulling back, like Zoom. So you see Netflix here, obviously it had that hit as well. And so you see they just dropped off, but I didn't expect, I thought they were going to drop off maybe $50 tonight or maybe 60, really. And you see that in this first bar, but actually they dropped over $100 tonight. So that's just crazy. So it's going to be definitely something I'll be watching in the morning to get out, see what I can get out of here. on Netflix. I don't think, I mean, it could go lower, but I'm not gonna, I don't want to chase this one. So if you're in this one, just make sure you're locking in profits, because this was a great move and, more than I expected. So looking good on that, and markets continue to show us signs of where it wants to go. Now, here's some stocks that did well, but obviously, as you saw on Finviz, they kind of arched today and then went down. BIDU didn't go down so much; it gapped way up, which I knew the China stocks kind of were getting a little bit of a rally. If you look at BABA, it did well, it bounced as well. But you got this huge gap up. Well, actually need to be filled maybe someday. But you can see here, from a trade perspective, didn't really grab any of this in pre-market because this was like in the middle of the night. But it hit a peak at 165, it dipped down to 160, back up to 164. So if you're scalping this, I mean, again, a lot of the stocks right now, I don't recommend any swing trading right now until we get a direction on where the market's at, where it's going to stop and reverse. So I'm not recommending swing trades, only day trades, only scalping right now. Unless you're long-term, you're building your long-term portfolio, then right now there's lots of bargains. So if you're looking at stocks that you look way overpriced, that you really want to add to your long-term portfolio, now's the time to start shopping. And the same, if you look in the cryptocurrencies, they're down a lot as well, and lots of things on bargain. I mean, there's things that I've been out. I sold out everything last week, except for a couple that I'm just holding like almost nothing. And I was glad because when I saw it today, I was like, holy crap, I'm glad I was out. And so now I'm looking at what I want to buy back into. Not that I'm going to go full size in anything right now. So just nibble, day trades, scalping trades until we get an upside direction. So just some thoughts. That's not financial advice, but that's what I'm doing. So BIDU had a nice little chop. I mean, I didn't like a lot of this. This was more scalping, a few trades, and then I just did nothing else with it because when it gets choppy, I just prefer to stay out because then it's a guess each direction it's going. So I really didn't like BIDU that much, but it did give opportunity. DWAC, it gave a nice rally the other day, and then just kind of pull right back down. Didn't know if it was going to give another one. It did. 77, 78 up to 87. So you can see it hit the top of our trend line like it did before, and then it's pulled back. So it's come down here. It hasn't come to the bottom of our trend line here. This could be, if you put a line in here, let me put one in here just so you can see. So this was a big area of support, 77, 77, 70, you see 77 across the board. So definitely we got support down here, definitely a descending wedge. Definitely, could break out back up to the top at some point, but I don't like this weakness here. It may pop up here and hit maybe, 81, tomorrow. But right now it's weakening. So I'm just watching DWAC right now to see if it's going to break out to the upside. And again, they're launching their website in February, by the way, just a side note. And then Match gave us a nice little run and rally off of our bottom of our trend line 116 up. It actually broke through and hit 122, kind of chopped along, double topped almost at 122. Again, same number. So you see this is pretty much what you call double top. So you can see it came up, dipped a little bit to the 50, back up to the top, and then that's where it kind of broke down with the rest of the market. And I thought for sure that it was going to find support down here, around 119. Because 119.37 is kind of where we were at before over here. Let me put this line here. And when we broke that line, that pretty much told me that the lines, it's not going to be very good support when it broke this line, which means we have more downside. So I'm looking, this could probably come down here, possibly down as far as, 117.50. From where it's at right now. So looking for, it chasing down the rest of this breakdown candle tomorrow. Now, does it come down and fill this gap down here? It's possible. There's a gap down here, but it could also come down short and just spike up, or it could spike up in the morning since we've had this long downturn and haven't really pulled back up again. So we'll see, watching price action in the morning. but match looking for some continuation here, play at some point. But I don't like that it broke down through here. So we may have continued downside right now on match. Workday came up here. You can see here that it hit the top of our trend line as well, 249 up to 260, 260. And then broke down with the market. Again, market's just kind of dragging everything out. Now it's right here on our trend line. So you can see here, our trend line, lower trend lines held support. So right there right now, if this breaks below, I'm going to be shorting this workday. If it can hold this and start to bounce off, then, you know, there's a long play. But there's going to be resistance back up here at 256. So just be aware of that. It could come up here and then bounce down again. So that's why I'm saying, you know, no long swings right now is what I'm not doing until I see, you know, where the bottom is here in the market. SoFi's been an upward trend. You can see it hit at the top of our trend line today at 1646. We talked about this in our video last night that we hit at 1455, pulled back, looking to see if we got a continuation play back up. We did, and then it's pulled back down again. So, you know, the thing, as we talked about these charts, you know, consistency and it's called symmetry. That's 1455. So that's where we hit the trend line before. You notice where it found support today at the end of the day, 1455, and right off the 100. So, you know, if you're looking at charts, this is where charts can help. Some people say charts don't do anything for you. They really don't work. But if they say that, they don't understand it. Because to me, you know, when you look at lines like this, you can see how the systems work and how the computer systems in the background are working with the stocks and algorithms. So for me, it helps. If it doesn't help you, then, you know, use whatever works for you. If it makes you money, then who cares? But if it's not making you money, then you got to look at something else. So looking for some support here, see if it can bounce off of here. If it breaks below, it's going to be shorting opportunity on SoFi. So looking to see what SoFi is going to decide to do here. AVGO, we talked about this was a short opportunity, possibly down to the 200. Looks like that's still holding and remains. We're right between the 100 and the 200. You know, it could possibly hit support here. Just looking at this little line here. This is the last breakout. You can see where it kind of grouped together as a breakout. So it could possibly bounce right here at 532. But if not, we're probably coming down to the trend line or to the 200 on AVGO. LRCX, talked about this heading down to 200. And we almost got to today. I didn't know if we were going to make it there, but we were close. So still expecting this to come down to this 608 level and either find support. If it breaks through this 200, we got our upper trend line clear down here at 570. So just be aware that could be another potential line on where this could come. So we'll see what happens with LRCX, but that's where it's headed. Nvidia. So Nvidia, you know, continue to be downtrend. You know, we talked about breaking our resistance line up here. It broke it yesterday, so we had a continuation probably down to the 200, and sure enough, that's where it looks like it's heading, right down here. So 229, 92, so 230 area is where hopefully we can find some support. If not, we have the lower trend line here that we could possibly hit at 224. But it's down our downward channel and continues to show weakness. So just be aware of that when you're trading these. NVAX, I put a larger time frame so you can see kind of where possible support would be. And you know, looking on this, I mean, it might be since we broke down so far, it might be, you know, maybe around this 81 level, maybe 76, but we should be coming to support. I thought we were going to hit it up here. It broke through both of my support lines here. And when it did that, it obviously showed weakness, and so it had a lot further to go. So looking to see if we can get support, but boy, what a decline in NVAX from its highs. You know, we're almost, you know, $200, you know, $150 off the top here. So it's crazy. So looking to see where we can get support, but obviously this was, you know, overly bought and high to come down that far. So looking for some support on NVAX. ConocoPhillips, we talked about this kind of possibly pulling back here to our upper trend line. You can see it's kind of working its way back down there. We talked about that's what should happen, exactly what is happening. So, does it finish it tomorrow? Possibly down to 85. Maybe 84.33 would be down to this trend line, but it's right on the 5 right now. So we'll see if it continues to come down here. It could come down here and bounce and move up to 2 new highs, but right now COP continues to be strong. ExxonMobil, same thing in the energy sector is still doing well. We're very elevated above my trend lines. So, do my trend lines change and come up here? It's possible if we bounce off here and move up to new highs. But right now you can see that we're still above the 5 and just kind of consolidating right here. Amazon continues to sell off here. I put some additional support lines down here. 25.51 is the end of kind of where this channel was, below the 200. And then down here at the very bottom, 28.80 area would be a possible low where this possibly could come down and hopefully find support and bounce. Now it is elevated. It's moved a lot down and we haven't seen a pullback. So I could see this bouncing up here, possibly to 30.96 tomorrow as we close out the week. Yeah, this move is very, very aggressive. So looking for these support levels, and if not, maybe a bounce back up to resistance. Tesla, you can see here, pretty much a triple bottom right here. 1, 2, 3. So, can we bounce off of here? It's still below this trend line. So it's possible it could continue to go down. And it could, if it gets past our support line here, that I have at 978, then definitely I'm gonna be shorting this thing. If not, I'm waiting to see if this can break up and break out of this channel like it did before. So if it can break out of here, get back over 1,000, 1,016, then I'll look for a rally back up. If it breaks below this 978, definitely it has more downside. Apple below the 50, broke our support line and continued down. So looking to see if it can get support here down to 100 at 160. We talked about this last night. If it breaks to 100, it could be coming down here to 149. It's possible, but I would expect hopefully some support around the 160 range. So we'll see what Apple does and see if it can get some support here. And RK, I put this back on. The reason is, I like what's in the portfolio, but boy, it's just got hammered on and continues to come lower. It's down over 50%. And it's broke below the 200 today. It broke through our support line and down through the 200, but I put it on here because I think you can find support. This would be drastic, but really the last breakout area was around 57. If it did, I don't think I have any choice but to start buying this up. Even right now, it looks like it's at a bargain price, but, we'll see, what the market decides it wants to do. But, this one's gotten beat up a lot, but I do like the portfolio for a long-term play. So I might just add this into my long-term portfolio a little bit more, especially at this discounted rate, because it's just blows my mind on this one. Anyway, stay safe and trading on that one. Definitely subscribe to our channel. Hopefully this information continues to help you find profitable trades. So looking at the 10-year yield coming down, so that's good. Wanted to keep coming down. I need to break below this 170, preferably below 160. So I like that it's pulling down here. This may give us a chance to get a bounce on the market back up a little bit. US oil's coming down as well after hitting a new high. Should find support hopefully down here where it was at highs before. We'll see. But definitely looking to see if we can hold this line and bounce back up. Dollar continues to just grind back up here. It's at our resistance level. It's kind of hit it, 4 days in a row now, trying to break through that 95 to 86 area. So we can do that, dollar will continue to show some strength. VIX, we talked about this, hitting 25 is not good. And exactly where we're at right now and what we did today. So we're back here where we were back in December with this big spike. And I got some, resistance lines up here as well that we could possibly hit. Hopefully we can start to bounce back down. If we have a down day tomorrow after having this long climb here for a week, We can pull back down here. That'll give the market a little bit of relief to be able to bounce a little bit. So just beware it's not long term until this thing gets down back here below 20 and we have a gap to fill. So if it can break back down here at 20 sometime, that's going to help us to start rallying back up. But as long as this is elevated up here and if it continues to go higher, just expect the market to keep coming down. You can see here with the SPY, I thought we were going to hopefully close right here. I expected it to hit 445 maybe and bounce at the very lowest. 447.35 is what I was really hoping for, because that's kind of where we broke up here. It's where we found support before down here, but it went a little bit lower. It a little bit lower than I thought it was going to go, and so that makes me a little nervous that maybe there's some more weakness in here. This could possibly come down and tag the 200 at 436.72 right now is where it's at. So it could come down. So we'll see if we can bounce off of here. That'd be great. Get back over here. But this also could bounce up maybe and do a little fake out and then come back down. So just you gotta follow the VIX and the price action based on kind of how the market's opening and the pre-market to get some hints on which way this is going. But this could be a double bottom and a bounce, but not where I see it dropping below and closing below that line. I just don't like that one, but we'll watch it for the morning. Triple Qs, again, I don't like this one either. Drop below our support line and our 200. So it shows further weakness. We got a low down here, 350 would be, where we were back in here in October last year. So that would be my next guess at where we could possibly come down to if we don't bounce back above this 364.48 level tomorrow or next week. Semiconductors, again, towards the 200. So broke below that, stayed below that resistance level, came all the way back down here. 200 is our next mark, 270, maybe down to our lower trend line. But definitely saw the weakness continue here in semiconductors. Dow Jones even more. I thought we were going to hit the 200 today. We didn't. It's right above it. So we could hit it. 345 would be, where we hit that 200 and hopefully bounce. If we break through it, then our lower trend line's down here at 341. But, with these long extended candles, usually when we have a couple of days of those, we have some type of pull up. So looking at that could possibly happen on Friday. IEWM, that's what we talked about as well. You can see this huge weakness here. So we're below our support lines. Got the 100 moving average down here. So we'll see if it can bounce off here or come down and find more support down lower, but definitely continue to be weak on Dow Jones. Financials right here at the 100 kind of bounced up a little bit. See if we can bounce off this and get support and go back towards this resistance area at 339.78. If it breaks below here, then that's our trend line here at 38. Or if not, then going down towards the 200 is what would be the next stop. Bitcoin had a nice rallied up. I thought we were going to do well, and then we started to sell back off again. So showing some weakness here, down to this 38.8 level. 100 down here, marked down here. Next support level is 35 area. If not, could break down further. 28.600 would be this next area. But it was a low in this area, but we should be finding some type of level support here. You can see this is where we broke out last back here in January of last year, and then July we had support here for quite some time before breaking up. So, a little bit further down, maybe, and we should find support and hopefully bounce off that level unless the market's really weak. So Leo's doing well. Some nice uptrend. It's finding a lot of resistance in this 370 area. Looking to break out above the 388.89 and maybe hopefully go towards $4 at some point here. But Leo is consolidating, which is good. Should hopefully get some momentum going here. OMI pulling back here. It broke out of this wedge, came up here, tested this high, and then it's pulled back here. So see if it can hold support here. If not, hopefully at least at this 68.5 level, and hopefully bounce off of there. If it doesn't, then it might be coming clear back down to the top of our upper wedge. but hopefully we can bounce off that level we're at now. Luna came up here, tagged, and then it's been down. It had hit support and then pull back up here, and we've been consolidating in this channel right here. Looking to try to break out this 87 level at some point, hopefully, as it consolidates. And so right now, just not a lot of movement on that one. That's why, I'll wait for it to show some type of momentum here. FTM pull back here after trying to break through. It just broke below the 20, so I don't like that. Got the 50 and the 100s down here as well, so more likely this is going to have some more downside. One ONE, so this one rallied up towards making new highs and then pulled back here. It's about below the 100 towards the 200. I don't like this one either right now, so just going to stay out of this one until I get some type of bounce. And SCRT came up to try to challenge the highs that we had back here in November, and then it's pulled back here. And so hopefully we'll find some support here around this 660 level and bounce off here. You can see we had a lot of support here, a lot of consolidation. So I'm hoping he'll bounce off this area. If it breaks below it, then definitely continue to be a shorting opportunity on SCRT. So those are our cryptos. Those are our stocks. Just, continue to follow the price action, watch the pre-market, watch the scanner. I don't expect a lot of small caps to come back into play like they have in the past until we get, some type of turnaround happening. And so there could be a bounce tomorrow. Just watch price action, look at yesterday's close. If it breaks below yesterday's close, more likely we have more downside. If we get above it, we could have a short-term bounce, relief bounce. Back up, but probably not going to be long term. It's going to be maybe a day or a few days, and then we could possibly come back down again. So just be cautious out there, and we'll hope that you have a great weekend coming in. Be safe tomorrow. Make sure you don't hold things over the weekend that are high risk, unless that's something that's part of your strategy. And we'll get you prepped on Sunday for a new week. And everybody have a great night.